Alrighty. So, Pindy, dude, you've been absolutely crushing it. Your progress photos have been pretty freaking cool and insane lately. I kind of want to talk about your journey so far as a whole, but before we jump into that itself, introduce yourself. Who are you? What were you struggling with before initially starting with us? Give us a spiel.
My name is Pindy. I'm originally from California, and I had gotten diagnosed with PCOS back in the beginning of December. And that's when I remember reaching out to you, Ashton, about like learning about it because personally, like I didn't really know too much about PCOS. And I also ended up having like an opportunity of going abroad for an internship. So I feel like I had so much coming my way in such a short amount of time. Once I got diagnosed with PCOS, I found out I was moving abroad, to Central America. And I think for me, that was one of the things where I was trying to figure out how to go about this. I noticed for me, I've always had a pretty healthy lifestyle, but I was just noticing changes in myself that I feel like, I was still having weight gain. I was starting to feel really fatigued, even though I was someone who would work out like 4 to 5 times a week. Just noticed like there wasn't something good with myself. So I ended up getting like, my hormone levels checked. And then I found out and went to a specialist and found out that I had PCOS. So I think this was something that was very hard for me to navigate because I knew nothing about it. So also I've been with trainers before in the past that don't specialize with PCOS. So I think for me, I was just trying to find like the best thing that would work for myself. And I feel like no matter what I did, didn't work. So I was really grateful to come across you guys and knew that you guys specifically work with women with PCOS. And I feel like that's definitely something that's helped me out a lot because I feel like there was so much I didn't know where I was getting so many opinions from other people, from doctors, from other trainers. And it was just, not gonna lie, a really tough time for me because I didn't know where to go, who to listen to, where to start. So yeah, I feel like months in now working with you guys, I feel like I've definitely not only just about the whole like health aspect, but overall my lifestyle, I feel like has changed. I feel like I've definitely been more aware of things that I feel like I normally wouldn't be, like my quality of sleep, my water intake throughout the day, making sure I'm getting my steps in, just those little things that have truly like made a difference. I've definitely implemented in my overall like routine, and I feel like it's definitely I've seen just a difference in myself already compared to like who I was months ago in December. Like I could just see like my photos, myself, like I was just struggling, and I feel like now I've just become like a more healthier version of myself just internally and externally.
Dude, yeah, especially when you first started, the main thing you can notice is your inflammation has gone down so much. Like which is
Yeah.
crazy. So you got diagnosed in December, very fresh. We're now about
Mhm.
7, 8 months into your new journey with PCOS. So since you've started, what kind of results have you seen that have like helped with your PCOS?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've seen results. Like you said, the inflammation, I feel like the way like my body was and how I've been so active, I noticed I looked fit, but I just noticed I had a ton of bloating in my stomach still. I feel like no matter what I did, nothing was working. And now since like implementing these changes, I feel like I notice in myself, I feel a lot more stronger. I feel like I'm able to lift a lot more heavier in the gym without too overexerting myself. I know I sometimes would go to the gym on my own before and I would overdo it and I would just feel extremely like I overdid it. I just felt like I like ran a marathon and I would feel so tired, but still I feel like I wasn't feeling any. I was just doing random workouts. I feel like I wasn't doing things that were pertain to my body, what I needed. I feel like my energy levels was a huge thing because I would be so tired throughout the day, no matter what. Like, I feel like I would get like 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but I would still be so tired. And that's when I realized like there was something really going on wrong because I've always been someone who's very active, very like trying to be on things. So I feel like when I was feeling very tired, I knew that wasn't something that was good. So I feel like my energy levels have definitely I've been able to work out throughout the day, have like a routine for myself. The inflammation was definitely a huge thing. I feel like I noticed like in my face, my stomach, even my family has told me, like, even though they haven't seen me physically, when I FaceTime them, they say they're like, your face looks so much smaller. You look like you look like you are eating really well. What are you doing? And then I told them that how I've been working with you guys, that you guys have truly helped me in like really implementing things that I feel like I wouldn't really realize that were a big difference with PCOS. I feel like the whole time that there's like the stigma that it's just like a weight issue, but there's just so much more that goes into it. So I feel like really learning from you guys and working from you guys, where it's like things that I normally wouldn't have thought about, I feel like have truly made a difference. And that's where I feel like it's really helped. I feel like my energy has just gotten way better from where it was. Even like my weight, I feel like I reached a weight level that I haven't been in since like 2024. So
Oh,
I feel like that was definitely a huge thing for myself. Getting back to like the maintenance of weight and still being healthy, but like also not always just focusing on the numbers, but just also just noticing those visible changes. Like I noticed like I'm starting to see myself more leaner in my pictures. I'm starting to actually be able to lift more as I do my workouts more and more with Janie. Like I see like I'm able to increase just like a little bit more in my weight each time I keep going. So I feel like that's truly like what matters. It's just like not just like the number, it's like the overall just lifestyle changes for yourself.
dude, so I didn't even know that you had hit a weight that you haven't seen in years. Like that's actually pretty awesome. How did you react when you finally hit that low weigh-in?
It was very like it was like almost like an emotional time because I feel like it was just something I was so proud of myself because I definitely agree. Like in the beginning, trying out like moving abroad and trying to do my best in the program, I was really struggling because I was adapting to like a new lifestyle. I'm used to having like my car back home. I don't have a car here. I could pretty much like walk or Uber, do public transportation. So like going to the grocery store, doing grocery shopping in an area where they might not have the same amount of foods or cooking stuff that I'm like used to. Um, I feel like for me, that was just kind of like the big thing. And then also just like seeing where I kind of was struggling in the beginning and now where I am now, I feel like that's where I just feel really proud of myself because, huge shout out to Janie. She like never gave up on me, even times like when I was doubting myself, or I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, there's moments I just like felt like a little bit discouraged or I just didn't feel motivated. She was always there to kind of pick me back up or just be patient with me and adapting to this because I think this was also like not only just adjusting to my health, but a new lifestyle here in a different country. So I think for me, that's something I was just really, really proud that like, I was able to hit that weight because like I said, like when I was last year when I didn't know I had PCOS, I feel like I was doing everything that I could, like working out, still trying to eat healthy, overexerting myself in ways that I shouldn't have, and thinking that that was the best thing. And so still nothing was happening. So like now finding changes that work for my body just feels so like rewarding because like it just makes me feel like the time and the patience, everything was all worth it to get those results. I feel like when it comes to losing weight, finding out what works for you. Everybody wants those short term like effects of what works faster to what can help in the moment, but not realizing like you really need to get down to the like nitty gritty of like what's the result, be patient, wait for those results, and then you'll kind of see it. And that's what I feel like was like a testament to my journey was like really having patience and seeing things through, trusting the process and just keep going can really show like the end result.
Especially when you have that support system, dude. Because like, a lot of coaches, trainers, they would see a client's falling off and just give up. They're like, dude, like whatever, like
Mhm.
they clearly don't want it. But then you got Janie here giving you that push, like, motherfucker, like we believe in you, like come
Yeah.
on. But now here we are, you finally got your rhythm going. The freaking body fat's melting off. You're physically changing every time you
Yeah.
upload new progress photos. Um, were you because what you said is what a lot of women with PCOS go through is when you go to a doctor is that they either put you on some type of GLP-1, birth control, eat less, move more, get on a diet, right? Then you
Mhm.
come work with us, we're the complete opposite. We say no supplements. We say, hey, you need to be eating more food than you're used to,
Yeah.
the reverse diet. Were you kind of like skeptical? You're like, what the hell? Like that's the opposite of what I've been told.
Yeah, because when I first got diagnosed with PCOS, the first thing like the doctor told me was recommending me to go on birth control. And I know for myself, I was like, that's definitely not something I want to resort to. I want to like see if there's any lifestyle changes. I don't want to resort to like anything putting more in my body that may even have like a reverse effect on me. So that's where I think I was trying to figure out what to do. And the reverse diet, yes, I was skeptical about it because I think for me, as someone, I grew up like dancing my whole life and being a dancer, like I feel like there's like a certain like body image that you have to have. So unfortunately it can be like a toxic environment where it's like not really encouraged to be eating so much. And so I feel like for me as someone, sometimes I would skip breakfast a lot. That was something I had a really bad habit of doing. Like I would be like that typical person who would just get like a morning coffee and think I could survive on that on like a 6 hour practice. And that was just not ideal for myself. And then that's where I feel like I really struggled to eat so much in the beginning, like reaching those calories. I was like, I feel so full already. I don't know like how I can do this. Like I remember telling Janie, I was like, I cannot eat anymore. Like I'm struggling. But I feel like with like not forcing it and like taking that time to really like see though like not just not just what you're eating but seeing how much you can eat depending on the calories like implementing like the fruits and veggies you can still eat a good amount without having so many calories you can still get in all of that and I feel like really learning about that taking the time to learn you know really like logging in my macros made a big difference. I feel like I would just eat whatever and I didn't really realize like how much I was lacking in protein like throughout the day and I was wondering why like my energy was so low, why I was eating like too much of certain carbs that was like causing my body to be inflamed and bloated without even realizing it. So I feel like that was like a huge thing. The reverse diet really taught me about like having a proper eating schedule. Now I feel like for me like I make sure to get like my 3 meals a day if I'm feeling hungry, get in those snacks, making sure I'm eating like the proper nutrition for myself. And I feel like that definitely helped better my relationship with like cooking, with food as a whole, because I feel like for me, like I would kind of like treat food as a like a bad thing, like almost like an option, like I can eat when I eat, not really
Right.
making it like a priority.
Yeah.
But now I kind of make it as something that's in my routine, that's a priority, making sure like I delegate time to meal prep, whatever, what like throughout my day, if I have to like sacrifice certain plans. Like I just feel like I've hold myself in that discipline of a routine of making meals now. So I feel like that was definitely a huge thing for me as well, just because like my relationship with food was kind of like not always the best. So yeah, that's something I'm really, really grateful for too now, having like a more
Dude,
structured routine.
you got like a lot of takeaways from this program.
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy
truly
for you.
do.
Yeah, that's awesome because a lot of people they come in here and they kind of like almost have to get interrogated, but I'm happy that you're actually like, you genuinely seem like you've learned a lot. And
Yeah.
that's literally something I always preach to everyone that wants to join is I want to be your one-stop shop. I want you to come
Mhm.
hang out with us for a bit to where you learn everything you need to know that your body needs so that you can do the rest on your own because we're still young. This is something that we
Yeah.
should learn as we're young so we can take this into our 40s, 50s, 60s, and not have to worry about working with another trainer or coach like in 2 years. You know what I mean? Um, did it trip you out that we don't do meal plans? Like you were doing this all by just eating whatever you were eating?
Yeah, I think that was a big thing too. Like I remember Janie would recommend me like dessert recipes because I would
Yeah.
sometimes have my sugar cravings and I feel like that made a big difference for myself because I did work with a trainer in the past that had a meal plan for me and I just feel like I kept crashing with it
Yeah.
because it was treating food like a chore, not something I was enjoying to eat. It was just kind
Right.
of eating to eat. So I feel like that definitely made a difference was like not having to sacrifice the foods that I love, but just making smarter decisions in it
Right.
and not like
Exactly.
depriving myself.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, you've been absolutely crushing it, Pindy. So, what I would love to ask, because you're a great prime example of starting slow but finishing
Mhm.
strong,
Yeah.
and usually it's the opposite with a lot of people. A lot of people, believe it or not, will come in a program, they'll freaking sprint hella hard, lose heck of weight, crush it, and then fall off in 12 weeks, right? Because they
Yeah.
overwhelm the hell out of themselves. You were the opposite. You were already overwhelmed. You obviously had the support system where we kept pushing you and cheering you on. It finally clicked for you once you settled in to moving, and here we are. Now you're hitting an all-time low. So my question is to anybody out there that feel maybe they're too busy or maybe life's too hectic, right? And they want to wait till that perfect moment to start. What would be your advice to them? Because you didn't wait for that perfect moment. You joined in the freaking middle of a storm, and now here you are, freaking crushing it, dude. But what would be your advice?
I think for me, my advice would be there is going to be no perfect moment. I feel like for me, as someone who got diagnosed, I feel like I'm still like pretty young, and this is my first, I guess you could say, like health scare. So I think for me, once I got diagnosed with this, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I think as someone who didn't really have much knowledge about this, I feel like for me, I wanted to try everything that I could to get to the bottom of this. And I feel like for like seeing other people, I feel like someone else will be living your opportunity. You know what I mean? Like you waiting for the perfect moment isn't gonna come. It's like up to you to decide that. And I feel like for me, even though I was kind of scared because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm moving abroad. How am I going to be able to have access to, well, I have access to a gym? Am I going to be able to meal prep like I do back home? I feel like there is no perfect moment until now. I feel like tomorrow's not promised. I'm very much someone who lives by that. Like tomorrow's not promised. You don't know. Each day is going to be different. So I think for myself, there are going to be like I feel like the struggles are what's a part of the journey and that's what makes it so beautiful. I feel like that's why I kind of like as much as like I did struggle in the beginning, I feel like that was like the beauty of it and me trying to figure out what works for me, trying to figure out like not give like me realizing I have a support system. It's not just me alone in this, and then just having like the courage to still try to navigate this abroad. I feel like that's where I think what makes the story so special and makes it feel so like special to me because I realize like, like girl, like if you can do this, you can do anything. I feel like it just motivates me to keep going more in life because it's like even though I didn't have the typical routine that I did back in the US, I feel like I was still able to be here. Even though I struggled, I still navigated the challenges. I still never gave up. I still asked questions, or, even when I needed that motivation, I reached out to Janie. I was like, any tips on things that I can do. And I just feel like with the right support system, you can really go far. And that's what I think helped me is, there's never going to be that perfect moment. You just kind of have to start. No matter everyone's journey is different. Some people go really fast, some people go really slow. That's why I tried to do my best. And when it came to like testimonials, seeing other people, not comparing my journey because I noticed like, obviously like my age, my body, my lifestyle is completely different to other people's right now. But what matters is like, like I just don't give up and like at least I know that I tried. Even if I don't get the exact results that I need in the time that I may think or expect, at least I know I can never be like disappointed in myself for not trying.
Dude, I love that. Um, I guess to kind of like wrap this up, then I like asking this question. How would you rate Janie as a coach? 1 out of 10, and why?
Honestly, not because I'm trying to be biased. Like, I really rate Janie as a 10 because I have worked with coaches personally in the past, and I feel like the amount of support that I've gotten from Janie has been just not only just super helpful, but just also so like welcoming. I feel like times where I get busy and I sometimes don't communicate as much, she's like, "Hey, like, what's going on?" And she's not afraid to like put me in check, and I really like that, but it's in a way that really supports me and really like keeps me on my toes for things. I feel like no matter what, even not even just like about like meals, about workouts and stuff, she's always trying to find ways that pertain to my lifestyle. And I feel like that really shows the true character of a coach. Like she's able to find out tips for myself, able to find out things that kind of work for me. Like, I told her like, there's certain labels, I don't know how to calculate this. She's been able to always help me out with that. And that's something I truly appreciate because it doesn't treat someone as just like a client. It's more of like a
Yeah,
human being, someone genuinely just trying to help you. And she's always just motivating me, always like hyping me up, being my hype woman. So like I feel like that's definitely something that, every person needs in their corner, even going through this journey. You can have like the support system of like family and friends, but like no one really knows what you're going through besides like, your direct coach and your specific needs. So I feel like Janie's always been quick, always been responsive to things that I need, things that I need help with. And yeah, just a big support system. I feel like she gets me, like, and so I'm just super grateful for her and all that she's done for me.
dude, hell yeah. Pindy, dude, you've been absolutely crushing it. We're super proud of you.
Thank you
I'm very
guys.
happy that you've hit a weight you haven't seen in years. That's a huge
Yeah.
milestone, and we got, we're gonna keep going. This ain't the end yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hit another milestone here. But you've been absolutely crushing it. You've been a rock star. Janie, you little shy pickle. Do you want to add anything before we wrap this up?
No, no, nothing. Just super proud of how far you've come. This is still, Pindy 2.0 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Well, outside of that, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Pindy, you're crushing it. If you need anything at all, we're always one text away. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for everything.
All right, talk to you later.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.